Hey everyone, we'll be starting in a moment. I'm getting everything set up, so please bear with me as I do so. Okay. Saved. Close. Don't need these. Connection seems to be okay, so everything seems to be fine. Let's start. So hi everyone, welcome to more Apollo Justice. We've been playing this for a while now, but we're almost done. Well, I say we're almost done. We've still got other DLC to do, but we're on the 5th case, and we are continuing with the second trial for the second case in the 5th episode. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on. Last time we had tried to get Rafer to have the divination seance happen, but then she had like either a panic attack or she just broke, and then she had to go to the infirmary. So we had to just question people, which ended up being Dirk himself. And yeah, we ended up finding out that there's some stuff going on with that. That obviously he doesn't remember anything beyond getting in there, and that the blood that was on the floor was actually his. So he remembers that part. We tried to prove there was a third person in there, and they'll probably be hiding in the sarcophagus, but we're kind of shaky on that at the moment. We still haven't proved that that could be the case. But then Rafer was able to come back. We were able to persuade her to actually do a seance after she gave her own testimony. And we're like, you could do it, Rafer. And the Empress, or I just call her the Empress because that's pretty much what she is. She's not a queen, she's an Empress. But she's everything she's doing. But anyway, she was just like, no, she's too pathetic. She can't do anything. And then we're like, no, she could do it. It's like, okay, I could do it. You cannot do anything. And then, you know, she did it. And it didn't help us really, because it kind of just proves that it was Dirk that killed the minister. So we're about to look into it and see what truth we can get from this. And then whatever's going to happen is going to happen. So without further ado, let us begin. Hi, Ruffatron. Welcome. It's about to go crazy. I see. We can never have a calm case, can we? It's always got to be a murder. Why not just have someone that just steals something, or a case of mistaken identity? I don't know. Okay, sound is being picked up, showing up there. Need to refresh restream. So that. There it is. All right, load game. We go straight into it because there wasn't a to be continued. We'll be just continuing where we were. So, right, let's reacquaint ourselves with what was happening. At around 3 p.m., my father was waiting in the tomb to make the hostage exchange. Incense footsteps. He was drinking grape juice while gazing upon the picture of the Holy Mother. He had been waiting vigilantly when suddenly he heard Dirk's voice. The next moment he was stabbed in the back and collapsed. My father tried to shoot his attacker, but he missed, and the attacker let out a laugh. Dirk. Pain. Explosion. Laughter. All right. At around 3 p.m., my father was waiting to make the hostage exchange. Incense, sour. He was drinking grape juice while gazing upon the picture of the Holy Mother, which is this. He had been waiting vigilantly when suddenly he heard Dirk's voice. I mean, it just says man's voice. And if he did, wouldn't he have paid attention to that instead of just continued walking? Footsteps. The next moment he was stabbed in the back and collapsed. My father tried to shoot his attacker, but he missed. But it's not that it missed, that it exploded, so I think it's this part we need to point out. Select.
Objection!
Is that not the right point? This insight is inconsistent with the vision. Oh? Please do tell where exactly does this inconsistency lie, whorehead? Hornhead. I said whorehead. It's a bit too early to use that kind of language. Well, it's kind of hard to say, especially when you put me on the spot like this. The defense will only present opinions that won't collapse under pressure. Guess I'd better take a closer look at the insights and the vision before I try again.
Objection!
Yeah, I didn't really think so. Athena's just sitting in the gallery, and when she says "No, Apollo, what are you doing?" And she's strangling the person next to her. God damn it, Apollo! Oh, sorry. I guess I could consult. What's wrong, Apollo? Can't find any inconsistencies? Yeah, basically. Well, there was one thing that stuck out to me. That man's voice Inga heard. Didn't you find it a bit strange? Not really. It's just Dirk arriving for the hostage exchange, right? But if Inga was waiting for Dirk, don't you think he would have been more vigilant? Good point. He wouldn't have wanted to leave his back exposed like that. That's what I said! Now, just take that thought on through to the end. Right, I think I got it now. You've been waiting vigilantly. He heard Dirk's voice. Footsteps. Man's voice. Man flesh.
Objection!
Okay. Your benevolence, there seems to be an inconsistency in your interpretation. An inconsistency where? Minister Inga is far too relaxed for what was supposedly about to take place. When he heard the voice you claim is Dirk's, he didn't seem the least bit alarmed. He just kept looking at the picture of the founder. That's strange, right? He was waiting for Dirk to arrive at the Founder's Orb. But when he heard the voice, he didn't even turn to look. Don't you think he would have been more worried about being attacked from behind? Then whose voice was it? It was likely someone whose presence wouldn't have alarmed him. Someone like a friend?
Objection!
But there was no third party at the scene of the crime, and therefore the voice can only belong to Dirk. The voice of a third party who wasn't there in the tomb. Apollo, don't we have something that could reveal the owner of the mystery voice? You know, I think we do. Something that Inga had while he was waiting for Dirk. Something that Inga had. With it, we just might be able to figure out whose voice it was. I believe we can identify the male voice Mr. Inga heard with this. Tape recorder? What did Inga have? I mean, I guess this?
Take that!
Are you sure that's really gonna help? Yes! As sure as the sun rises in the east! You sure are confident? However, I failed to see a connection of any sort. Unlike the sun, it seems the defense couldn't find the energy to rise to the occasion. Guess that was a bit too fly-by-night. But I just know there's something that can help us identify the male voice. Identify the male voice. We don't have any kind of recording software, so I don't know. Picture of Barge Farm. Everyone in the back. Oh! Phone? Oh! I forgot Twitch does that! Thanks for the follow. I completely forgot that Twitch had that. Thanks. Oh my god. As I was saying, it's probably the phone.
Take that!
That's my father's. Oh god, that handcard, no. I know this be hard for you, but could you please look at this photo? There's something here that can point us toward the identity of the voice. This is the real source of the man's voice. The flip phone from 2001.
Take that!
A cell phone? Right, I believe that the voice that the minister heard was on a phone call or on a call on his cell phone. Oh my god! Thanks, Rapper. I see. Well, certainly makes sense. God, and I either need to change that or I need to make that more rare. What is your eminence view on the matter? I concede the possibility. Then it seems I must refine my vision. Subordinate's voice. It appears that the voice belonged to one of my father's subordinates. Why do you suppose he was talking to one of them? My father had members of the secret police positioned throughout the palace. They were supposed to contact him as soon as they saw Dirk and the rest of you. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Your benevolence, I believe you have an insight to revise. I know, Bobbed Head. Don't presume to tell me how to do my duty. Insight revised. My father then took a call from a subordinate at the palace. So the voice was coming from the phone. That's good to know. there must have been some other sounds coming from the phone. Sounds that could be clues. Let's take another look at Rafer's insights and really focus on the various sensations. Okay, I think I can get in the hang of this now. Hostage exchange. Grape juice. Took a call from the subordinate at the palace. Now, is there going to be a new sound showing up? Footsteps. Subordinate's voice. Lion's roar. That would be at the bazaar, not the palace.
Objection!
I hate to break it to you, Benevolence, but you misinterpreted something again. What do you mean? Again? Smooth move, Apollo. I think you just hurt her feelings. She may put on a brave face, but she feels more than she lets on. Let me rephrase that, Your Benevolence. Your interpretation of your father's phone call to his subordinate at the palace is inconsistent with his final memory. What do you mean by that? A lion's roar could be heard over the phone. Don't you find that strange? You claimed the call was from with someone at the palace. But let me ask you, do you keep lions there? No, the only animals at the palace are little birdies and my pet frog. You have a pet frog? Okay. Wait, that giant one in front of the minister's house is a pet? Besides, there aren't any lions in Khu'rain. We don't even have any zoos. A rather sad state of affairs, I'm afraid. Well, I remember hearing a sound like that. The lion's roar coming from the phone is actually from something hanging out in the bazaar. Isn't that the cry of the warbad over in the bazaar? Your Benevolence, do you think you can clarify the voice for me? Very well. I will now attempt to further refine my vision. Warbad's cry. Oh, great. 2 apostrophes. Oh, it's one of those words. What's this? Just as I suspected. It was the call of a warbad. That means the subordinate minister Inga was talking to was in the bazaar, not the palace. But why is it important where the call came from? What significance could it have? She's right. Is it important to know where the call was made from? I mean, it wouldn't be important otherwise. It's actually very important. Knowing that the person on the other end was at the bazaar means that the loud explosion might not have been the sound of a gunshot. But I can't think of no other item that makes such a noise in the area. Go ahead, Apollo. Tell her. Tell Rafer the real source of that sound. Will do. Wasn't there an explosion down there? Well, Horned Head, I'm waiting. What was the true source of that explosive sound? It was the painkillers. They somehow exploded. Necktie, 23 years ago. Picture taken around 2 p.m. It's a firecracker by Albie.
Take that!
What is that? It's an Albie Earlgate statement. Or it's. In it, he claims that Das Arabal threw a firecracker at him when he was at the bazaar. Then... Yes, the sound I heard over the phone was a firecracker exploding.
Objection!
And yet a bullet found at the scene of the crime. A bullet fired from Minister Inga's gun. How do you explain that? Well, we don't know whether it was fired during the course of the crime, right? Or do you have evidence that proves when the pistol was discharged? No, I have none. Wait a second. If that loud bang was a firecracker, then could that laugh at the end have been... No, it can't be. Oh, it can. And it is. The laugh came from none other than... the Joker who got a kick out of startling Albie with his dragon snot snaps. The happy-go-lucky Das Arabal. Of course. What? Someone should really put a leash on that guy. I shudder to think how one man can be the cause of so much trouble. Hey there, HAPW. Y'all can deck me later. No one asked for your commentary, Mr. Arabal. Also, aren't you supposed to be arrested? Get him! Your benevolence, do you need to revise your insight? It would appear so. Imagine if Dats teamed up with Larry. Man, I miss Larry. My father then took a call from a subordinate in the bazaar. The true source of that loud bang was the firecracker Dats threw. And that final laugh belonged to none other than Dats himself. Well, this changes everything. Let's go over the details of Rafer's insights again. Okay. I think I've got this down now. Time to find another inconsistency. Ring in the tomb. Grapes, incense, sour. Drinking grape juice. My father then took a call from a subordinate. Would it be a call, though, if there was no ringtone? That would mean that he was calling them instead. Subordinate's voice. Warbad's cry. Dog's bark. Pain. Footsteps. Explosion. Laughter. Took a call from a subordinate at the bazaar. Because the dog noise is now here. But I don't know if that applies to anything. Hold on a minute. Let me look at the evidence that we have. That would be around 2 p.m., so this is not 3 p.m. How would I present that, though? Would I have to present it at the beginning, or do I have to present it when he's taking the call? I think it's got to be with the dog noise. Oops. Subordinate's voice. Warbad's cry. Dog's bark. Yeah, because I can't present anything. I have to actually, like, go to the things. I'll go to dog's bark. Okay, maybe not that one then. Please do tell, where exactly does this inconsistency lie? Well, it's kind of hard to say, especially when you put me on the spot. I already listened to this. Why can't I skip it? Maybe it's for the explosion then. No, wait, go back.
Objection!
Okay, so it is on the explosion. Your benevolence, there's a glaring problem with this insight. Oh, come on! There is. You stated that the murder happened at 3 p.m., which is right around the time my client arrived on the scene. However, now that we know that the source of the loud bang is, your insight conflicts with a certain piece of evidence. I suppose I have to ask the obvious here. What evidence conflicts with the claim that the murder occurred at 3 p.m.? The statement. Again. Albie Ergate's statement. Again. Yes, because to summarize what he said. Hold on a minute. One second, I gotta be right back. Alright, sorry about that. I had to check something. It's stupid, really. I just put, like, water in my eye when I was, like, reading that line. I think I, like, squirted it too hard or something, because it felt like it went into my eye, like, sinus or something. It didn't feel good, which is why I had to stop. Because I was like, what the hell was that? Hopefully I haven't got water behind my eye now or something, because that would suck. I don't want to go blind in one eye just because I wanted to make it clean. Ugh. Anyway, let's continue. Yes, because to summarize what he said, at around 2 p.m., Shadow was surprised by a firecracker that ran into the palace courtyard. Around 2 p.m. That's right, 2 p.m. Not 3. Ah! Are you suggesting... Oh, she's stabbing that table. I think you know where this is going. Darcy's laugh, the cry of the warbad, and the bang of the firecracker were all heard before Minister Inger's death. Thanks to Albie's statement, we can put a definitive timestamp on all of these sounds. Therefore, what this vision shows is that it's extremely likely that the deceased's final moments were at 2 rather than 3, as we had originally thought. Dare I ask? It means the murder took place a full hour before Dirk entered the tomb. Pulkunka! How can this be? Are you saying that I, the very personification of the law, have been mistaken? Well, she broke her nails! Well, I guess they were fake. Now you see why justice will always prevail. Objection, he's just lying, and blah, blah, blah. Something will come out of my butt that will be able to describe everything so it doesn't actually become true. Peace, peace, I say. Now then, defense. I must remind you that the figure of the accused was clearly shown in the vision. How do you explain that? I wouldn't say it was clearly shown. After all, the figure didn't actually have a face. You're absolutely right. Without a face, we can't be certain of who it was. Furthermore, need I remind you that if the vision is from 2 p.m., Dirk was still with me and Mr. Wright, which means this faceless figure couldn't possibly be him. So then, what are we to make of this 1 hour difference? Wait, 2 o'clock? That's when... my mother was performing the rite of channeling. The palace guards had all been reassigned to guard the channeling chamber for the rite. Don't tell me. The royal residence... it would have been virtually unguarded. Which means the real killer could have easily slipped in unseen into Amara's tomb. Defense, are you saying that this is someone disguised as the accused? That's exactly what I believe, Your Majesty.
Objection!
Preposterous. Disguises cannot deceive the memories of the dead. That the face did not appear this time is mere happenstance. Oh yeah, it just randomly happened for this one time. Shut up, Nayuda. What are you doing here anyway? You're not even part of this anymore. Had it appeared, such subterfuge would have been clear as day. He's got a point there. Anyone who knows about the divination sounds would have tried to hide their face. Nevertheless, our killer openly appeared before Inga. The question is, why? Apollo, maybe the killer could afford to be so bold because they knew their face wouldn't show up in the seance vision? What? It's possible that the killer dared to dress in Dirk's clothes and stand square in front of Inga precisely because they knew they could get away with it. But how could anyone be so sure of something like that? A long time ago, I heard of a cognitive disorder that impairs ability to distinguish between different faces. Oh my, I was right! First it's in 666 doors and all that kind of thing, and now it's in this! They really were like... Japan just coming out with these random fucking disorders for people to have, to make it have, like, just so then it has some use for the story. Oh yeah, this guy can't determine touch when he touches things. When it feels like fire, it's actually cloth. You know, that's why he couldn't tell that he was actually just touching a wall. He thought he was touching fire. What if Inga had it? Then, are you saying that this is literally how Inga saw the world? Yes, we can't normally see through the eyes of others, but in this case, we can. And if he had that disorder, I imagine that his is how faces appeared to him in life. And we've got to be hard to try and prove that with just saying, oh yeah, he had this. Okay, let's say that the killer knew that Inga had such a disorder. They could definitely use it to pin the crime on Dirk. But if you're wondering about how to prove that Inga had it, you already have what you need. Really? Well, defense, do you have anything to show to this court? Yes, I believe so. Right? Frankly, I have no idea what Mr. Right means, but I'll look into the evidence over again. What explains why the face of Minister Inga's killer is absent in this seance vision? Oh! That might be why he has notes on the different appearances for people. A notepad. Yes, it was found in Minister Inga's room. And it holds the answer we're looking for. As you can see, it's filled with detailed notes on various individuals. What kind of clothes they wear, hairstyles, and other discerning physical characteristics. And this is connected to the faceless nature of the killer. How? The visions we saw was exactly what Minister Inga saw with his own eyes. It is he who saw his killer as a person without a face. In fact, this is how he normally saw everyone around him. What's this? I believe Minister Inga had a disorder that prevented him from recognizing faces. It would explain the faceless being. And why he needed a notepad of people's physical characteristics. And why he went evil because he couldn't connect with people on a personal level because they all look like monsters. Now that I think about it, my father was always terrible at remembering people. By simply changing my hairstyle, he would fail to recognize me. Your Eminence, you knew that your husband had such a disorder, didn't you? He never wished for it to become public knowledge. But I suppose there is no use in keeping quiet about it now. It is as you say. Plus, it doesn't help my case, so I thought to keep it hidden. My late husband had a special disorder that hindered his ability to recognize faces. The medical term for it is prosopagnosia. So Mr. Wright was right. The memories of those afflicted with such disorders in life do appear strange at times. There is precedence for this. So the killer likely knew about the disorder before it used it to their advantage. Right, so there's someone who is both knowledgeable about divination seance and aware of Inga's affliction. Your Eminence, who knew about your husband's condition? A small number of servants who tended to his needs. And me. Surely you are not about to insinuate that I committed this crime? Well, you are dressed like a supervillain, so maybe... Oh, no, Your Eminence. Still, could she have done it? Khu'rain has an alibi, remember? All right. She was conducting the rite of channeling at 2 p.m. In that case... Your Eminence, does Naina know about Minister Inga's disorder? Of course she does. She is our head servant. Oh, not only is she is she Rafer's nanny, she's also the head servant? Okay. So as head servant, she knew about Minister Inga's condition. And as the princess' personal attendant, she is familiar with the divination seance. If these two facts together don't make her a possible suspect, I don't know what would.
Objection!
You witless lawyer, how quick you are to forget the facts. Facts like... When Inga was last seen alive, you claim he was slain at 2, yet that is impossible. Or Rafa saw him at 2:30. We did completely forget about that. Or so did everyone else until just now. No, there must be some kind of mistake. I don't know how to laugh as a posh person. So you see, the murder could have only happened at 3 p.m. Or an evil posh person. At that hour Dirk entered the tomb, there is no other answer to this puzzle. Why don't we ever get to make up answers like Khu'rain makes up laws? Guess it's back to square one. Where did we go wrong? I don't think we're the problem. We just seem to be short one piece of the puzzle. Our deductions so far explain everything to a T. Everything except for Inger's sighting at 2:30. I see. Without the final puzzle piece, all our deductions just fall apart. Apollo, if Inger's sighting is the only anomaly, we'll just have to find a way to make it fit into the bigger picture. Time to think outside the box then, right? Let's see. It would be impossible to see Inga walking around after he had been killed. But what if there was a way to make people think he was alive even though he was dead? Like a way to make people witness the living dead? Sounds like some kind of TV show. Things like that don't happen in real life. The Walking Dead. Oh. Apollo? Did you just... I did. I didn't. I figured it out. I know how to make people witness the living dead. Your Majesty, our deductions weren't wrong after all. Despite Minister Inga being murdered at 2 p.m., he was seen heading into the tomb at 2:30, and I'll tell you how. I certainly hope you will, because I have no idea what you're talking about. The Minister Ingo her benevolent soul was in fact... a ghost or a clone! Of course! A ghost, I should have known! Someone channeling him... Someone disguised him. Someone channeling him could work. It was the deceased being channeled. It's the only way a man who was already dead could have been seen by a benevolence. Channeled, you say? That's right, and there are only 2 people capable of spirit channeling here in Khu'rain. Her Eminence Queen Khu'rain and Maya Fey. It's possible that one of them was channeling the minister. It would seem that you are ever bent on making me party to this crime. She put on some new nails fast. Prosecutor, what was I doing at 2:30 p.m. at the time at which my husband was seen? Eminence, I believe you had completed the channeling rite and were having tea with the king of the neighboring realm. There would have been many attendants there too. Now Yura has to keep up with her schedule too? What doesn't she make him do? Then that leaves only Maya. Yeah, it does. Maybe someone was forcing her to use her powers toward nefarious ends. The real killer could have been threatening her. Somehow. That cannot be. So then, Inga's scream. That was probably from when he woke up from being called back into this world. After all, that's when the flow of time would have picked back up for him after he died. So Minister Inga probably leapt to his feet, thinking he had just had a nightmare. Then, realizing it was almost time for the hostage exchange, he raced off to Amara's tomb, not even realizing he was already dead. Then, her benevolence really did see a dead man running. Ah! How would you prove something like that, though? Using the sacred powers of spirit channeling to commit a crime, how can this be? You'd be surprised. It's happened once before with a dead woman that killed people. Or tried to. The defense calls Miss Maya Fey to the stand, who is apparently still unconscious or something. Well, Your Eminence, will you allow a new witness? It matters not. Either way, this lawyer shall soon know the truth. he will know just how much of an imbecile he is in the face of my infallible arguments. You've been wrong a few times, so... Insult me all you want, witch, but you'll be eating those words when I expose the truth. Very well, let us adorn until the next witness is ready. War! To be continued. Yes. It's not even been an hour yet. Yes, continue to the next chapter. May 19th. High Court of Khu'rain. Accused. Lobby. Talk about some really close shaves. Well, you can't get any close shaves than Headsman's brand blades, that's for sure. The trial's not even over yet, and I'm already exhausted. Still, you were able to fight back the Queen herself in there. Well, maybe with Miss Faye's help, I won't have to keep on playing her game much longer. Speaking of which, I guess it's a little late to be asking, but do you think she's well enough to testify, Mr. Wright? She slept all day yesterday out of exhaustion, apparently. But that's all it was, so she should be okay. Barbed head, horned head. Oh, hello, Your Benevolence. Princess Rafa, you were really impressive in there.
I am the royal
Jesus.
priestess Rafa Padma Khu'rain.
The sudden voice acting scared me. I wasn't expecting it to be so loud.
And I am prepared to face my father's death.
Despite your mother's opposition, you stood your ground. And in doing so, you fulfilled your duty as the royal priestess. Voice acting jump scare, yeah. It was all thanks to you and your friends. Your belief in me gave me the courage to follow my path. So, you have my gratitude, she said while smugly smirking. Oh, don't mention it. I know, I shall thank you with a gift. What would you like? A cow? A horse? Or perhaps I shall reward your efforts with a royal shoulder massage. Oh, that's okay, Your Benevolence. Your gratitude is more than enough, thanks. Or, you know, you could fund our law agency back in the States. That would help a lot. But I thought you American liked massages. My techniques was highly praised by my father, I'll have you know. Hey, you lawyers, where's the accused? Huh? Dirk? That's a good question. I blew it big time, AJ. That's... Shut up, you! What's going on? This scoundrel tried to escape the accused. What? We're able to nab him, but the accused is nowhere to be found. Where are you hiding him, you miscreant? I keep telling you, I have no idea where he went. I mean, yeah, he booked it together. But I lost track of him after that. So, Dirk's in the lab now? Probably, but who knows? He vanished in the blink of an eye. Vanished? You want to know something, AJ? Dirk said to me, I can't put Amara in danger. Or Amara. I have to set her free before it's too late. What? Don't tell me he's gone to rescue her. Well, that's what I am telling you. And that's why I helped him escape in the first place. Do you realize what you've done? Well, what's done is done. Still, why did he choose to go rescue her now? Maybe he didn't want to die with any regrets or something. You know, just in case he ended up on the chopping block. Why, Dirk? I thought you believed in me. Oh, don't be like AJ. He'll be back as soon as he frees tomorrow. You'll see. That's not the point, Daz. Listen, lawyer, you let us know immediately if the accused contacts you. The trial will now resume. See that you are ready. Wait, the trial's still on? Even without the defendant? Those who were Her Eminence orders, so you will return to the courtroom at once. Wow, I'm surprised that the Queen is letting this happen. I thought she would be like, we gotta stop him before she gets my sister again. Before he. Let's go, Apollo. What we can do is see where this next testimony leads. May 19th again. Khu'rain. Now then, let us resume the trial at hand. Your Majesty, my client seems to have gone missing. What do you think, Your Eminence? Should we proceed without the accused? I'm not surprised. Well, I am surprised that you're not kind of like, the what? Disappeared who? Get him! Why not? My royal guards are searching for him as we speak. They shall find him soon enough, for they would dare not keep me waiting. Yes, but what about the law governing court proceedings? I am the law, and I shall simply revise it. As ruling sovereign of Khu'rain, I proclaim the following. Should the accused be an enemy of the crown, they may be tried in absentia. You follow me now? Thanks. Von Karma. Thanks for the follow. Well, in that case, I guess there's no problem with proceeding. Will the witness, Miss Maya Fey, please approach the stand? Hi again. Sorry to summon you like this, Maya. Getting dragged out of bed and into the court is not exactly a fun wake-up call, Nick. I'm sorry, Miss Fey. It was my idea. And you are... Oh, right. I'm Apollo Justice. It's nice to finally meet you. Too bad it's in a bad circumstance like this. Oh, so you're Apollo. Nick's told me all about you. Sure, just bring this song back. You're the new guy with a loud voice and a bit of an unreliable streak, right? Unreliable? Well, that was 2 years ago. You've come a long way since. So, why was I called here anyway? Am I under arrest again? Huh? I guess no one's filled her in. Well, she has been asleep this entire time. Miss Fey, this is a trial for Dirk Samadi, and you're here as a witness. What? Dirk's been arrested? But that's not exactly the reaction I was expecting. Miss Fey, you are suspected of playing a part in the murder of Minister Inga. What? Someone allegedly forced you to channel the minister to obfuscate the time of his murder. At least that is what the defense claims. Wait, what? How could you, Apollo? How did you even reach that conclusion? Sorry, but it's the only way this whole case makes any sense. Your understandable anger at the defense aside, will you testify, Miss Fey? Yeah, Ruffatron, I kind of figured that it was the same person. You might want to be careful with that, because you might get banned. Not from me, but from Twitch. Like, Twitch itself might be like, you've got multiple accounts for the same person, you're gone. So just be careful with that. And I don't... Twitch, if you're listening, I'm not a part of this. This is all his idea. But thank you. Yes, Your Majesty. Channeling the minister. I don't have any idea what's going on, but I know I didn't channel Minister Inga. I didn't even have the chance to do something like that. Besides, I never go quietly along with some criminal's plan. Though, I guess there are some things I'd go quietly along with. It seems the witness doesn't believe she ever channeled Justice Minister Inga. And if her words prove to be true, defense, your entire argument becomes moot. You do understand that, don't you? Yes, of course. It doesn't seem like Miss Fey is lying. Apollo. Maya was being awkwardly secret about something just now. Everyone's like, oh, she's telling the truth. And only Phoenix. Phoenix is the only one who's like, well, actually, she's being a little weird. Then I guess I'd better dig a bit and try to get to open up to me first. I've only got 1 health left. I just realized.
Hold it!
You've been asleep ever since you were rescued from the tomb, correct? Mm-hmm. I was exhausted after being held captive for so long. That must have been terrible. Maya, Minister Inga didn't do anything to you, did he? Oh no, he wasn't anything like that. On the contrary, I asked him for all sorts of things. Like what? Like, I'm really craving burgers, and I'll die if I miss my episode of Plume Punisher. Acting like a brat netted me a TV and even a few burgers from someplace. He was surprisingly nice to me. Huh? Are you sure we're talking about the same guy here? He may have loomed large, but he was unexpectedly easy to push around. Even though he's the one who was responsible for pushing those execution papers through. Oh, that. Approving execution was simply his preferred method of stress relief. With a wife like her, he was probably really pushing them through out of fear. I'm beginning to see why he wanted to stage a coup. In any case, my time in captivity wasn't so bad, but all of the things that happened...
Hold it!
Are you sure about that? Maybe you just don't remember channeling him? Don't remember? I may be 28, but I'm not senile, your own, you know. 28's not old! Stop saying it is! Like, 50 or 60s are, like, at least somewhat old. But come on! 28? Stupid... Something's not right here. Miss Faye, you were confined to Amara's tomb the whole time, is that correct? Yes, but I wasn't conscious the whole time. Okay, then let me ask you something. Did you ever see Naina in the tomb? Dressed as Dirk? Huh? Is this some kind of joke? I think I'd remember if I saw something as crazy as that. Plus, I doubt anyone would carry out a crime like that in front of a potential witness. I hate when he's right. Imagine if this is the one time Maya's like, you know, actually, I did help them kill someone. He was right to die. It's like, whoa, Maya, what the hell happened to you? I grew up, Phoenix.
Hold it!
You didn't have a chance to channel him. Does channeling someone take a long time? Not really. Once you get the hang of it, it's pretty much instantaneous. But I was all tied up, literally. So there was no way for me to make the channeling mudra with my hands to do it. Right. I guess she really didn't channel Inga then. I mean, to be fair, she never really... they never really showed her needing to do, like, hand gestures in the past game. It's only in this game they're able to show it because she's fully modeled. But... to be fair, yeah, she other times she did just sort of just turn into another person. Maya, when mediums are done with a session, they can send the spirit back to the other world themselves, right? Sure, unless they're still in training. Amateurs can get possessed by spirits sometimes. I mean, you were still in training and you did it easy! But full-fledged mediums can stay in a total control for a session. And they can send the deceased spirit away anytime they want. So I take it you could do that too, Miss Faye? Of course. It's a cinch for the new and improved Mystic Maya Faye Ace Spirit Medium. That's strange. You seem like the same old childish Maya to me. I'll show you childish, Nick. She takes off her slipper and starts hitting him. Maya starts doing hand signs. Oh my god, she's doing a gang sign! Get her!
Hold it!
So you wouldn't channel spirits for unseemly purposes? course not. Spirit channeling is my bread and butter. And I take a lot of pride in my work. It's like, how would you use your legal skills to commit a crime, Apollo? Well, until finger-pointing and objecting become deadly, I don't see how they can be used. Wow, you're a regular smarty pants, just like Nick. Always at the ready with some sarcastic comeback. I think I'll save my many objections for after the trial. Yes, please. Anyway, I'd never go along with something like murder.
Hold it!
It sounds to me like you're trying to hide something, Miss Faye. Did anyone teach you about respecting boundaries, Apollo? Wow! Bringing up the boundaries card, okay. It's really rude to pry into a person's private affairs. Sorry, I didn't realize, Wait, we're in a court of law. Yeah, I know. That's... Then what was all that about me being rude? I'm just doing my job. So please, just tell me, what exactly are you hiding? Apollo actually is getting angry at Maya. It's like, you stupid channeling woman, just answer the damn question. It's like, whoa, okay, fine. What exactly are you hiding? Sorry, but I promised Dirk I wouldn't say. You made a promise to Dirk? Mm-hmm. A pretty big one. I think this is about all you're going to get out of her. Yeah. Enough. The witness is denying that she channeled any spirits. Further questioning is pointless. It appears your little fiction has been soundly exposed for what it is. You should listen to her, Apollo. I don't even know why you suspected me in the first place. I mean, you don't have any evidence of me channeling Minister Inger, do you? Oh, evidence, huh? There's no point in even thinking about it, really. I don't use anything special to channel spirits, so there wouldn't be anything left behind. That's true. Just like when she channeled the High Priest, all Maya needs is her own body. If the defense has no evidence to offer, I will have to end this cross-examination. What now? Even if she doesn't use any special items to do the channeling itself, you'd think there would be something to complete the deception. Is there any proof that Justice Minister Inger was channeled? I don't think I have anything. None. Nope, I don't see how there could be, Your Majesty. I see you still got a long way to go, Apollo. Excuse me? If it were Nick, he would have tried to bluff his way through that one. But I'm not Mr. Right. I'd like to retract my previous statement. And as to whether there was any proof that Minister Inger was channeled. You bet there is! He got goaded by Maya. Wow. Like, Maya's the one trying to hide something from him, but even she's like, you know, if it was Nick, he would just present something and lie. Really? Well, now. You're bluffing, I take it. I'll be fine. If we were right, then there must be some sort of proof to back us up. Time to do some serious thinking. Apollo Justice. Or time to do some thinking, Apollo Justice, is what he's meant to say. but I apparently said it like it was a catchphrase. Apollo Justice! Ah! Okay, we know that when Rafer saw her father, he wasn't dressed like Miss Faye, right? Right, because if he was, Rafer would have immediately known he was being channeled. So that means he was dressed up in his usual suit when Rafer saw him. Ah, good thinking, Apollo. This might be the perfect angle to attack from. Alright, let's have the answer from the defense. What proof do you have that Miss Faye channeled Justice Minister Inga? The button? I don't know. The only thing that could possibly, with even a hint of being able to be something that's in this, is the button. That's the only thing. Because they would have had to take that off, because how would his button just fly off his shirt from being stabbed from behind? He would have had to have had a scuffle. And in order for a scuffle to happen, he would have been alive. But he wasn't. So it would have to be that his button flew off because they tried to take it off a dead body.
Take that!
Is that a gemstone? We found this among the ashes of one of the tomb's incense burners. Does this gemstone ring any bells, Your Eminence? What? What was that doing in the tomb? Ah, so you do recognize it. But then, as his wife, how could you not recognize this gemstone button from your husband's jacket? I don't get where you're going with this. Channeling Minister Inga alone wouldn't be enough to fool someone like Princess Rafer, especially if he were wearing your clothes. So you could have had to change into the minister's clothes before the channeling him. Miss Faye, you used the minister's clothes as a cover while going from his room to the tomb. While you burned them... where you burned them once you no longer needed them. What? Uh-oh. She seems genuinely surprised by that, Apollo.
Objection!
Miss Faye? Yes? Do you know my husband's name? It was, Inger Karakul Khu'rain, right? That is correct, in part, but there's more. Much more. Inger Karakul Hakau Dislain Binhani Logi Omo. I can't read all that, Khu'rain the Third. Oh my god. Inger Karakul Hokod Disname Bani Loga Ormo Pompous Danit already is Khu'rain the Third. Why is his name so freaking long? And most of them are just like, oh, this name. This is his real name. And he's calling him Pompous as well. Hawkod. Hawkod. Oh god! Oh, it's saying, oh god, this name, something. Bahani. Bahani Loga. Barney Loga Ormo. Oh god, this name. It's gotta be a bigger reference here. Like, oh god, this name, something something Pompous. Damn it! Damn it! Already is Khu'rain the Third. It's Khu'rain the Third. The more I'm looking at it, the more I'm understanding it. I just don't get the Bahani Loga Ormo part. I need to look it up. This is something I have to look up. His full name is this. It's a play on how could this name be any longer or more pompous than it already is. His full English name is the longest name in any Ace Attorney character today, having 76 letters, 88 with spaces. Oh my god. They have one for each language? What? This is just the English one. The French one is like sort of the same, which translates to what an overly long, pompous, and hard to pronounce name. Okay. This game has probably got the best names for characters now. God, this one name has changed everything. That is his true name. Could it be any longer? Due to its length, only a portion of it was ever made public. So, Miss Faye, did you know his true name? No, I mean, how could I? Precisely. Yet a medium must know both the face and true name of the one he seeks to challenge. She seeks to challenge. Channel? Why do I keep saying challenge? So then, Miss Faye couldn't have channeled Minister Inga. That's what I've been saying this whole time. Why would I want to randomly channel some old guy I didn't know? And didn't like, thanks to the last trial. Or didn't like, thanks to that last trial. But I can't believe this. Apollo, I really don't think Maya's lying. However, your line of reasoning still seems credible to me. I agree, but there's something tripping us up in the details. Maybe we're working off of some wrong assumption again. It isn't Maya. I already have the idea that it was probably Amara. Like, she somehow got a part of this, knew everything was going on, snuck out, took the form of Inga when he died, or just straight up killed him, worked with Inga to escape, and now Dirk's trying to go to find her, finds out that she actually already escaped or something. I don't know. That's just a lot. Maybe the butterfly pendant belongs to the actual, to Amara, and that's why it was there. And he was like, oh, I gotta hide this. Put it in my sleeve. Apollo, I was thinking. Yes? Since I didn't channel Minister Inga, is it possible that someone else did? Someone else? But who else could it have been? I haven't thought that far yet. Such chatter is without merit. Let us move on, shall we? I don't care what Khu'rain says. I'm going to figure this out. If it wasn't Miss Faye and the Queen has an alibi, then... Apollo, forget about who's capable of channeling spirits for a second. You should consider the circumstances around the channeling, right? Right. You know Rafa saw her father come running out of his private quarters. If he was being channeled at that time, who could it have been? It had to have been someone who's in Inga's private quarters? Well, I'm waiting defense, and you do know how much I despise waiting. Yes, but there is someone else beside Miss Faye who could have channeled Minister Inga. Huh. There's just one more person, and they were in Inga's private quarters. That person is our only hope now. Naina. Or Nanya. I keep saying Naina. I think that's wrong. The defense believes there was another. Let us have the very serious answer then. With pleasure. Horned devil. Who could have channeled Minister Inga?
Take that!
Naina? Your Eminence said it yourself. Oh, that's right. Naina never did go to the tomb that day. Instead, she entered my husband's private quarters. How do you know? It's quite simple. Shoe prints were discovered in Inga's private quarters. Shoe prints that belonged to Naina. And then there's the Benevolence's statement. She said that Naina disappeared right after she entered Minister Inga's private quarters. The room from which Minister Inga himself came running out of not long afterwards. You are not seriously suggesting. It's the only one that makes sense. Naina channeled Minister Inga and left his private quarters thereafter. That's why no one has seen her since. And why only the minister's shoe prints were found outside his residence. No way! That's gotta be it. Nana must have somehow channeled the minister. It's actually your mother. She's the grandma of channeling in this country or something. All the circumstantial evidence is falling into place. What's wrong with my voice? Can't ignore it anymore. You can't claim Nana isn't connected to this case somehow. In light of this, the defense calls Nana to the stand. Well, Your Eminence. Very well then. Let us call Nana to testify. Yes! Now we can finally crack this case wide open. Let us adjourn while the witness is summoned. Well, they need to find her first. There is no need. Nana's in the waiting lobby. You have her? What? Nana's here? I thought she'd gone missing. It seems she was feeling unwell and simply wished to rest undisturbed. But her concern for Rafa brought her here today. Yeah, her concern for Rafa when she was gone for the entire time. And here, when she fainted, had a freaking panic attack, doesn't show up until just now? Sure. She took time off without Rafa's knowledge or consent. I'm betting there's more to her disappearing act than meets the eye, Apollo. A stick. She has feet. Hello. Miss Nana, do you understand why you have been summoned here today? It's the first time I see you talking. And the first time I'm seeing her hair. She has so much. Old lady voice, I guess. Yes, of course. Her Eminence has informed me that this man here suspects I have committed a crime. So this is Nana. That's quite the hairdo. Though I will say... I suppose I'm not as old as I thought. If this horn-head nincompoop would take me for a criminal... Nincompoop? Isn't that Rafa's favorite insult? That insult? How did I have trouble saying insult? I guess Nana rubbed off on her, what with all the time they spent together. You there, young hornhead. Yes? You're accusing me of slaying Minister Inger and channeling her spirit. His spirit, yes? What an active imagination you have. Young folk are so wonderfully open-minded. Thanks. Just take the compliment, Justice. Now then, will the witness please proceed with her testimony? Is there going to be a section where she, like, has a breakdown? Or, like, she reveals her true self and she just stands up straight and looks really imposing? And, like, you hear crack, is like, crack, crack. Ah, I am the true Inga, or Nana. And stuff. She becomes a wrestler, basically. This court wishes to know if you did or did not channel Minister Inger in his private quarters. I'm no spirit medium, Sonny. I was feeling under the weather yesterday. I decided to rest these weary bones. Besides which, a lowly servant such as I could not possibly be an honorable spirit medium. Only members of the royal family can learn the art of spirit channeling here in Khu'rain. After Queen Amara's passing, Her Eminence Queen Khu'rain is the only spirit medium left. If you believe a medium to be the culprit, it would have to be that young last Maya Fey. And there you have it. It seems we have summoned her for nothing. Only those of the royal bloodline have the blood power of spirit channeling. As a servant such as Nana could channel spirits is a most unamusing jest. On the surface, anyway. But our line of reasoning has led us to this end. That Nana channeled Inga's spirit. Alright, the defense may now question the witness. Why do they always draw old people, or at least old women, with this weird curled staff? Like, all the time. I guess it's supposed to look like it's the Magatama, but even so. Ah, she has a sword inside! Oh, kills everyone in the court.
Hold it!
Albie's dog stole your hat when you were in the court yesterday afternoon. Was it after that you decided to take a rest? I had been feeling unwell all day and had pushed myself too hard. I kept feeling weak and dizzy, and that dirty mongrel only served to worsen my condition. While I sympathize with you, Naina, you took the whole day off without informing Princess Rafa. She was very worried about you, you know. Not very kind of her benevolence, but she need not concern herself with the welfare of a mere servant such as I. Except to Rafa, Naina's not just a mere servant. To even think a mere commoner could channel spirits or slay a minister. What hogwash. I mean, Maya's a mere commoner, and she can do it.
Hold it!
I hear you with a head servant, isn't that right? Are you suggesting that my position affords me the ability to channel spirits? Since you're the head servant to a family of channelers, I'd say it's plausible. If you wanted to, it's not impossible for you to learn through exposure. I think not. Or that goes against the very underpinnings of the kingdom of Khu'rain. To become a spirit medium requires a noble spirit and rigorous training, both of which I lack. But most importantly, one must be a direct descendant of the founder, which I lack. Now, it is not simply some hobby one could take up in the manner of knitting or gardening. So, commoners could never become a medium, no matter how hard they tried. But that is common knowledge to all who are born and raised here, young hornhead.
Hold it!
Okay, then, what if you actually have royal blood in your veins, Naina? Like a distant relative or something? I am from a line of humble fishermen, all the way back to my grandfather's grandfather. I've never heard talk of royal blood or noble ancestry. Apollo, if spirit channeling has a secret art passed down from mother to daughter, then even a royal ancestor it'd be impossible to learn without the right training. It is as the bard one says, it also must be mentioned that this sacred art is only taught here in the kingdom of Khu'rain and your country's Khu'rain village. So then, you're not the only ones that can do it. Why aren't things falling into place like I expected? I would ask the witness to continue her testimony. I don't know if I should present like Queen Amara still being alive, but I'll do that after a question pushing everything. Queen Amara was the victim of an assassination, right? Yes. Oh, she was a very beautiful, gentle soul. But she fell in love with a man of dubious origins and was murdered in terrible blaze. Fate can be so cruel. Except she's actually still alive? Poor Naina's yet another follower unwittingly praying to over an empty sarcophagus. Mara, the queen who's been locked away and her existence in this world erased. The fact that she is still alive shackles Nayuda to Khu'rain's will. Nayuda, the only reason you're still standing there by that woman's side is because you're afraid of what would happen to Amara otherwise, right? We need not recount such ancient history. Let us continue with the witness's testimony.
Hold it!
Miss Faye was being held hostage. She was completely tied up and didn't even know Minister Inga's true name, making it impossible for her to kill or channel him. Bah, I know nothing of that.
Objection!
Listen, you hornhead, or horn devil, I'm confusing you with the other one now. Were you not just insisting that it was Maya Faye who channeled Minister Inga? Maya, how quickly you changed your tune. Yes, when the truth facts come to light, yes! No, I'm just quick on my feet when new information presents itself. I'm also quick to force my biggest smile when times like these demand it. It's great that you're following my advice, Apollo, but try not to look so forced while you do, would you? Nina's right about one thing, though. Only those of the royal bloodline can be spirit mediums in Khu'rain. Common folk like us are out of luck. Yeah, I guess so. Still, I think I'll finally be close to connecting all the dots once I point out a very big thing. that Amara's still alive. But I don't know if that's the right thing to present. Is it the photo I present now, or is it... I mean, I guess so.
Objection!
Okay, so I presented what makes sense in terms of a direct contradiction. Except I don't know how to make it make sense in the larger context of this case. Well, is the defense going to follow up its loud objection with a sound explanation? Oh, sorry. How do I put this? I believe there's a problem with Naina's testimony. Go on. She asserted that she could not possibly be a spirit medium because, in Khu'rain, only members of the royal family can learn how to channel spirits. I fail to see the problem in that statement, defense. Hold on, I'm getting to it, Your Majesty. Naina stated an absolute falsehood. Since we know that Amara is still alive, but does she know? At the same time, circumstantial evidence points to Naina channeling Inga. After all, just after she entered its private quarters, Inga came running out screaming, despite having been killed at 2 p.m. That would mean that Naina channeled Inga. Even though, supposedly, only those of the royal family are capable of doing so. Wait. Is it too late to ask for a refund on my trip down the rabbit hole? Mr. Wright, you may think I've lost my mind with this bluff, but... What? But if I can at least establish the possibility, I think it'll give us the break we need. Wait a sec. Are you going to propose what I think you are? Yes, it's a huge risk, but I think there's a chance I can prove it. Like, he tries to say it, and then immediately he's like, that's stupid. Assassinate him, he's stupid. Also, very stupid. Will the court please take a look at this photo? This photo's very existence, to say nothing of the person in it, contradicts the witness's claim. That Queen of Khu'rain is the only remaining spirit medium in Khu'rain. Horned devil, you mustn't. Oh, but I must. Under these circumstances, the outcome of this trial depends on it. But you already knew that, didn't you, Your Eminence? Will the defense please explain who is shown in the photograph? I don't recognize the Queen. Even though I'm older than her, I somehow don't recognize her. The person in the photo is the previous Queen, Amara Sigatar Khu'rain. Contrary to popular belief, she was never assassinated. In fact, she's very much alive. What? But that's nonsense. Take a good look at the law book in this photo, Your Majesty. The mark of the dragon branded on it could only have been placed there after the Queen Amara's supposed assassination. I'll be more guttural that grr. Queen Amara's still alive? Has the lawyer gone mad? While I personally find it hard to believe, I will allow the defense to continue. You may proceed, defense. Queen Amara's death was staged to keep her safe from her would-be killer. Yet, according to Dirk, she is actually being held captive somewhere. But the real truth is that Queen Amara is not being held in confinement. Rather, she walks freely among us. Here, in this very courtroom today. But how? Do not be deceived, Your Majesty. The Red Pepper is skilled in weaving plausible lies. It is the cunning and lawyerly art known as bluffing. But knowing this, there is no need to fear his forked tongue.
Objection!
That's where you're wrong, prosecutor. Because you'll be quaking in your boots soon enough. Is that so? my turn, Nayuda, to wake you up from the truth, or to the truth before your eyes. Queen Amara is still very much alive, has been disguising herself as Trucy Wright the whole time, from birth to now. I like that it just starts there.
Take that!
But that's... This is the simplest and cleanest explanation for everything we've covered so far. The person who killed Minister Inga. Someone with intimate knowledge of the divination seance. The medium who channeled the minister in order to mask the real time of death. Condense these traits into one person, you get a spirit medium of royal blood. And that person is none other than you, Naina. Your true identity is the former Queen Amara and the killer we've been looking for all along. What?
Objection!
Have you finally lost your mind, Mr. Justice? What you say is beyond blasphemous, even in the depths of hell. Oh my, such frightening allegations. Indeed, and absolutely ludicrous to boot. Her Eminence Queen Amara yet lives. And it is actually Miss Naina here who have truly gone off the deep end. You don't have to take my word for it. In fact, a certain someone can help me prove it. Your Eminence. If Queen Amara truly is dead, you should be able to channel her spirit right here, right now. Isn't that correct? I can deny it no longer. The lawyer speaks the truth. Naina, the woman who stands before us, is Amara, the former queen believed to have perished 23 years ago. Okay, I get the feeling there's more to this, and it actually isn't this. Pull Kunka! Finally. We finally got Inga's real killer on the stand. Naina, no, Amara Sigadar Khu'rain. Please drop the act and tell us what really happened. Oh, dearie me. I guess I should have underestimated the power of youth. Well done, young hornhead. Spin. Wee cocoon! Whoa! I guess I have to try and make a voice up for a new person that isn't an old woman now. I guess I'm trying to do it like Khu'rain, but probably not as aggressive? I don't know. I was getting tired of masquerading as an old woman anyway. It's been far too long since I last greeted you, good people of Khu'rain. It is I, Amara Sigadar Khu'rain, your former queen. Queen Amara? What? And I thought Khu'rain's makeover was extreme. Can it really be true? You are alive and well? It is true. I feel as if I have been called back from the Twilight Realm. I fear I have caused all of you a great deal of stress. Oh, she's got the posh laugh. She's evil. Great. Amara, I'm sorry I wasn't able to keep your secret any longer. I hope you can forgive me. It is quite all right, Khu'rain. I am safe now. For Dirk, that blackguard who's threatened my life, will be recaptured soon enough. I need not conceal my identity any longer. Queen Amara, what does this all mean? Were you not killed in that fire 23 years ago? I barely escaped that blaze with my life. But though I survived, I knew that scoundrel would make further attempts on my life. Therefore, I staged my death and abdicated the throne to my dear younger sister, Khu'rain. But the building of that great tomb, and disguising yourself as a lowly servant, why would you do such a thing? Khu'rain, I would have you explain. I wished for her to be close at hand. It was the only way I felt I could protect her. And it was the best way to hide her from the eyes of the public. After all, who could conceive of Amara lowering her station to that of a servant? She's got that right. Even Dirk thought Amara was being held captive in some far-off place. He never even guessed she was living as a servant, right in plain sight. I must say, a life dedicated to the servitude of others is not the least bit disagreeable. It is a quiet, humble existence, far removed from the tedium of regal duties. Ah, but those days of peace have ended. And it's all because of you, Hornhead. You should consider yourself lucky if that's all this ends with. If there is something you wish to say, then say it. It doesn't matter who you are, you won't escape the crime you've committed. The defense moves to indict you of Justice Minister Inga's real killer. What's this? You would accuse Queen Amara of homicide? Yes! That's what this whole thing was building up to! How are you surprised by this? A grand priest of Khu'rainism? You can't do that! She's virtually a goddess in the eyes of our people. If you commit the crime, you better be ready to do the time. Oh my god. Be you a priestess, saint, queen, or god? I've never met such an egalitarian person. I've never been outside the country, so I don't know how the rest of the world is. This one person is egalitarian. Queen Amara, in your years disguised as Nana, you would have learned much about Minister Inga's disorder. So you knew he could dress in Dirk's clothes to forge a convincing seance vision. Isn't that right? Oh, what a curious character you are. You would label me a murderer. Me, the one who people regarded as the incarnation of the Holy Mother herself. You may be a grand figure in Khu'rainism, but as a foreigner, you're just another suspect to me. It would appear your words are not in jest. Am I to suffer the sullying of my good name with accusations of murder most foul? Please, Queen Amara, forgive his impudence. The lawyer knows not of what he speaks. Fear not, good Majesty, for this is the sacred hall of justice. Though I am a grand priestess on this stand, I am but a witness like any other. I shall face his accusations with grace and benevolence. Your compassion is overfloweth, your mercifulness. Oh, young lawyer, in my benevolence I must warn you that your assertion suffers from a tragic flaw. Huh? There's a flaw? Nayuda. Yes, your mercifulness. Yes, your mercifulness. Who was present in the tomb when the murder was discovered? Dirk Samadhi, Maya Fey, and the victim, Minister Inga. I see. That is a fatal flaw indeed. It appears Queen Amara couldn't possibly have gone to the tomb at Minister Inga. What? Why not? We do not keep the defense waiting, Nayuda. Explain how wrong he truly is. Yes, your mercifulness. Her benevolence, Princess Rafa saw Minister Inga enter the tomb around 2:30 p.m. I just realized I gave them the same voice without realizing it, except she's more higher pitched. Yet you, the defense, claimed the person she saw was the minister being channeled by Queen Amara, who apparently has eyes in that picture. However, if her mercifulness had channeled him and moved to the tomb, then once she was done channeling, Queen Amara would have re-emerged and been left stuck in the tomb. Oh yeah! Had she tried to exit before you all arrived. Princess Rafa, who had been looking down upon the courtyard, would have seen her. However, her benevolence saw nothing of the sort. Because she used the sarcophagus. We went over this! In conclusion, Queen Amara could not have left the tomb without being observed. And yet, was she there, in the tomb when the murder was discovered, Defense? No, she wasn't. Huh. And now you see, your flimsy chain has been uprooted like a sapling in a flood. Well, that was entertaining, Prosecutor Samadi. Assume the prosecution of this case and clear your mother's good name. You wish for me to take over? Yes, prosecute your father to save your mother. What a poignant fate you bear, but bear it you must. Are you ready? Yes, Your Eminence. And there you have it, Your Majesty. I shall watch the rest of the proceedings from the sidelines. I relinquish complete control of this sacred hall to your authority once more. Why, thank you, Your Eminence. Now then, Your Mercifulness, your testimony, if you please. Testimony. Stop moving your arms. The lawyer theory is absolutely absurd. Now I shall destroy your utterly absurd and barbarous theory. I was not anywhere near the tomb following the murder. Were your theory correct, I would have been in the tomb once I had stepped channeling. My husband Dirk is the killer, but he has fled from the sacred hall. May the Holy Mother rain judgment upon the traitor Dirk Samadi for his crimes. I seriously think we're being, like, having the wool pulled under us or something. And, like, there's two Amaras. And I don't mean as in they're twins, as in, like, there's Amara that's actually being held captive. And then there's this one, which is a fake one. But we'll see. Oh, such marvelous testimony. You are truly a treasure, Your Mercifulness. This, too, is but by the grace of Her Holiness. No doubt my unmasking here today was hers will as well. Oh my! The Holy Mother, you say? Yes, surely Her Holiness has guided me to this witness stand. Dears, what's with that tiger? What's wrong with it? And to the purity of youth. Oh, how magnificent! Queen Amara, the Holy Mother's messenger, here on earth. Praise be for Queen Amara, blessings belongs to her merciless. Where did those animals even come from? Now then, the defense may question the witness. But remember, she is a Grand Priestess, so disrespect will not be tolerated. That means no pointing out conflicts, inconsistencies, or any other flaws in her testimony. So, I can't do anything.
Hold it!
My theory is utterly absurd and barbarous. And high-handed, if I may say so. Nayuda was right to call you putrid-minded. Surely even the monkey of Mount Poni's holy waterfalls could devise a better theory. Surely you can't steal better insults than Nayuda's best. And now then, all of you gathered here in the sacred hall, need I remind you?
Hold it!
Well, maybe you are hiding inside the sarcophagus? After all, it does technically belong to you. I bet you'd have no trouble opening it. If I had been in there, I would not be here today, for the tomb has been under constant surveillance since the murder. I would have never been able to leave. I guess not. If I might ask, what's in that sarcophagus anyway? You're still alive, so... There is despair, sadness, hatred, and malice. Only one brave enough to see the truth hidden deep within. Could discover the final hope, my continued corporeality. You completely lost me. In other words, it's empty. But no one dared to open it because they were too scared of the curse. Now, will you dispense your theory? It is as empty as my sarcophagus.
Hold it!
I'll admit you were in the tomb after the murder. You weren't. Very good, but that very truth refutes your theory. Even if I had channeled Minister Inga, I would have been found when he entered the tomb. I wouldn't have been able to leave because Rafer would have saw me. The moment I ceased channeling him, I would have re-emerged at the crime scene. Precisely, as you said your self-defense, Queen Amara was not there after the murder. And the only living souls in the tomb at that time were Dirk Samadi and Maya Fey. Be in this life or the next. But there is no escaping such simple truths.
Hold it!
There must be a reason why he had to make his escape today. A reason? Perhaps... Perhaps what? Perhaps to conceal himself and lie in wait for another chance to claim my life. What's this? Literally went to go save you.
Objection!
No, it's definitely not like that, your unmercifulness. First of all, you don't really believe he's trying to kill you, do you? After all, you two ran off together after he rescued you all those years ago. That was only because he had the audacity to claim it wasn't me. You must believe me. YouTube is far behind. I can't... That's YouTube's fault. It's stupid. It does seem like when I try to connect it through Restream, Twitch is like, immediately connects. YouTube takes a minute, so I don't know if that's why. It was my duty as a wife to her husband. Wait. That was only after he rescued you all those years ago. That was only because he had the audacity to claim it wasn't me. You must believe me. It was my duty as a wife to her husband, to bend an ear to him, was it not? Communication after disagreement is the secret to a long and happy marriage. Sure, I guess. What do you think, Mr. Wright? Don't ask me. That is why I listened to Dirk. However, he didn't have a shred of evidence to support his claim. Actually, he said it was because you were taken before he could actually explain anything, but sure. It grieves me to admit it, but my husband truly did try to murder me. That's quite enough. It's abundantly clear that Queen Amara's testimony is flawless. Oh, do you understand now, lawyer? This is bad. The judge isn't going to let me cross-examine her much longer. Amara should have been in the tomb after the minister's murder, but she wasn't. I just had a thought. What if, I'm just spitballing here, what if they hid the body of Inga in the sarcophagus, and then she pretended to be dead? Let's see where this goes. I don't get it. How did she just vanish from the scene of the crime like that? It shouldn't be possible for normal people to... Or normal people. Maybe... Maybe what? Your Majesty, I think I can explain why Amara wasn't there in the tomb after the murder. Very well, Defense. Do explain. I believe it was accomplished through a method only she is capable of. And by using this special method, it would be possible for her to literally disappear. Well, don't keep me waiting. Let's hear it. How did Queen Amara disappear from the tomb? She channeled someone. She clung to the ceiling. I think the only option is that she channeled someone. All she had to do was channel someone. Then she could easily disappear from the scene of the crime. After all, she would literally be someone else. Why, I believe that actually makes sense. What do you have to say to that, Queen Amara? You believe that I, a Grand Priestess, would use the sacred power of spirit channeling to commit murder? That's what we've been going through the whole time. Yes. Bye, birds. What the... Ye mercy, your mercifulness. How dare you spew such vile blasphemy, defense? You will retract your last statement or face immediate execution. No, good magistrate, it is quite all right. Khu'rainism also teaches that we must respond at all times with reasoned principles. Therefore, I shall offer a measured response to his blasphemous accusation. You have something to counter with? Indeed. Now, are you listening? It would not have been possible to simply banish by means of spirit channeling. After all, it would require a deceased person to channel. However, there are only one murder victim in the tomb. And that was Minister Inga, the only others there right after his murder were Dirk and Miss Bay. No, she would have to be dead. Never mind. Had I channeled Inga as you allege, well, the outcome would have been quite odd to say the least. For there, beside the dead minister, a living, breathing one would have appeared. Even if I had been in the tomb, there was no one to channel except the deceased minister. So you see, I could not have vanished by means of spirit channeling. That's true, but I can't rule it out yet. Because, well, what if there was another victim? Someone we haven't identified yet. How absurd. If you channeled someone other than Minister Inga, you could have used their identity to disappear from the tomb. Another victim? Queen Amara. Please add your last statement to your testimony. This could explain everything. Wasn't there some sign of another victim there in the tomb? And yet, why do I sense I'm not gonna like what I'm about to find out? Is Dirk already dead? I had that thought a minute ago, and I was like, well, wait a minute, we met him in the thing, and then all this other stuff happened. But it would account for why Naina disappeared for so long, and why Dirk ran. And maybe the reason as to why he said that he was dying is because he's already dead. Let's find out. I'm probably like going way too far ahead for this. Let's just see. Minister Inga was the sole victim. There was no other spirit to channel until he was dead.
Objection!
Nah, too early. At least I get to see if I get shot. The station contributes with this piece of evidence. Where'd you come from? You're supposed to not be here. Such items are unworthy of my eyes. Well, if Her Eminence says so, then I suppose there is no point in wasting time on it. I have heard enough. The trial need not be drawn out any longer. Despite the absence of the accused, I have reached a verdict. Regarding the murder of Minister Inga and the assassination of Queen Amara, the defense has failed to counter the charges filed by the prosecution. In accordance with the law, I invoke the Defense Culpability Act against the defense. I will now pass judgment on the accused. Bang, bang, bang! And there's defenders. Apollo Justice Peter's right. This court finds the 3 individuals guilty. Get me back in there. Now, am I going to have to press on everything again to get to that point? Yes. The answer is yes.
Hold it!
Skip. Get to that point again.
Hold it!
That thing that she's wearing around her chest has got to be very heavy. I'm talking about this thing.
Hold it!
Skip, skippy.
Objection!
Come on, get to the point where I was. Faster! Channel someone. Come on, go, go, go! Save. No, not that one. How long have we been going for? Almost 2 hours. Let's keep going for a little bit. There was no other spirit to channel. Nope. I pressed the wrong button.
Objection!
Can't believe I'm presenting this. But it proves that there was another victim. Still, the only ones there at the scene of the crime were... Meyer. Dirk. No, it can't be. Would the defense care to share something with us? Queen Amara, you knew, didn't you? Whatever are you talking about? If you won't tell this court, then I will. Well, don't keep us waiting. This case includes a second victim. One of the two people found alive in the tomb after the minister's murder was actually already dead. But a second victim, Apollo? Queen Amara, after you channeled Minister Inger and moved to the tomb, you vanished from the scene of the crime by channeling the other victim. That explains why no one found you after the murder was discovered. Oh, you putrid pepper, of all the half-witted buffoonery to come tumbling from your lips. But I suppose I indulge you and play along with your little delusion. Tell me, Mr. Justice, who was the other victim? There's no way this could be true. But... no, I can't stop now. If this is the truth, it's the only way forward to solving this case. The other victim who Queen Amara channeled was... he was a lawyer once. Not anymore, he's dead. Listen, son, if you manage to prove me innocent tomorrow, I don't have long to live. There is no escaping death now that it has sights set on me. And that explains everything as to why he was saying stuff. Like, he was saying all this stuff like, oh, I've got a sickness, I'm going to die. You know, what you'll find out will probably not be something that you want, but it's got to be the truth. Dirk knew everything, but he couldn't bring himself to tell me. I have one more big secret. I'm afraid I can't tell you what it is. I'd be betraying a certain someone if I did. He couldn't accuse the love of his life. The sad truth is, the other victim channeled by Amara was...
Take that!
What? You can't. That's not possible. The defendant, Dirk Samadhi, is the one Queen Amara channeled. He's the other victim. This is insanity. Polkunka! Apollo, what are you... Do you realize what you're proposing?
Objection!
I demand an explanation, Mr. Justice. I don't know when or why Dirk was murdered, but the facts and evidence speak for themselves. And this, it would explain the gap in his memory. Yeah, exactly. This is where they've led me. I see. After Inga's murder, Dirk and Maya were the only ones in the tomb. But if one of them was actually dead and being channeled by Amara... But it can't be, can it? Dirk's bloodstain at the scene of the crime was the clincher for me. He wasn't even injured, so how could he have possibly bled that much? Then the only logical explanation is Dirk had also been murdered.
Objection!
That's enough. Your explanation cannot be the truth. And you would not dare to claim to have proof to support your assertion. Ayuda, I wish it weren't true. I wish with all my heart that I'm wrong. But as much as I don't want to believe it, yes, I can prove it. Dirk's killer must have hidden his body. It would have to be somewhere nobody would ever look. And there is only one such place. You truly have proof. The fastest way would be to actually have someone go check the tomb. Go check the tomb? But why? Because I believe Dirk's killer hid his body here. It's going to be right on it anyway, so...
Take that!
You would suggest Queen Amara's sarcophagus, the only place in the tomb that no one would dare to look. Plus, a killer would have soon become trapped by hiding in there. But a body, well, that's a horse of a different color. Which means... why is it everyone are so, like, related to Justice in some way has died? First it was the guy that was in the space program. Then it was her dad. It was almost her mother. Like, come on! Everyone around him is just dying. Give him a chance. I believe we must search sarcophagus at once. Your Eminence, being that the Queen Amara yet lives, I trust we may now open it. If we must. Your Majesty, I believe Detective Sky is still there at the tomb. Let us contact her at once and have her conduct a full investigation into the matter. Objection! No happy ending for Apollo. Damn right. Now then, Detective Sky, your report, if you please. I'll start with my findings. Please, please. Please let me be wrong about this. So I found a dead body inside the sarcophagus. I just want things to be as they were. And that is where we will stop. The perfect pause. We will stop there for today. Been 2 hours? Yep. That is a great cliffhanger. Exit game. Save again? Yeah, sure. Now you'll have to suffer until next week. Just like I have to suffer for next week. But yes, we shall pick this up next week, Tuesday. And today was great. There's a lot of twists and turns in this. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting to find out what really happens, whether it's actually going to be Amara that killed him, or if it's actually just going to be Khu'rain the whole time. I don't know. It could go anywhere. I really don't. It would be very dark for it to go like, oh no, his own mother killed her husband, just because. But yeah, we'll find out next week, Tuesday. As a heads up, I will not be streaming tomorrow, because tomorrow is my birthday, so I will be busy, unfortunately. I'll be out by the time we need to stream, so I will not be able to stream. I'll be back next week, Tuesday, with this, and then we'll be back to normal streams after that. So, yeah. Today was fun. Hope everyone enjoyed. Hope to see you all next week, around about the same time. As usual, like, follow, subscribe to the bell notifications so you don't know when our next stream. If you want to help support me, there's a link to Patreon and tips. And if you do become a patron, you get your name added to the Patreon list here, where I give you a shout out at the end of the stream. I thank you for the community support, and I greatly appreciate you, like I do with Hiroru Kuni and the Swordmaster 37. But yeah, until next time, you'll take care. Have a nice rest of the day. I'll see you next week, and I'll have a nice weekend. Bye, everyone. Bye, Fatron. Bye. Bye, new followers, even though you're probably all the same person.